Record, please.
Lauren Espinoza and Brandon Prater for the state.
Robert Featherston and Adam Paltz representing Mr. Martinez.
And you're Mr. Martinez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we are going to continue with this hearing and defense. I believe you have the witness on cross and you're still under oath, Detective.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. So you really started your investigation back in December, end of December of 23, right?
In December, sometime in December.
Sometime December?
Yeah, November,
Okay.
December.
So you got intelligence that Ryan Westbrook was dealing in contraband at that time, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you have any reports from the Fusion Center or from the federal government that supported that?
No, sir.
Okay, just from a confidential source?
No, sir.
No confidential source? So what pegged you to Mr. Westbrook? What brought Mr. Westbrook to your attention?
Like I said, he was observed. At that time, I hadn't identified him yet, but he was observed delivering a pound of methamphetamines to a residence. I did a little research into the vehicle that he was operating, and it led me to him. And he matched the description of the guy I saw that day, so I established surveillance at his current residence.
Okay, so there was a separate case involving methamphetamine. And that's what led you to start your investigation on Mr. Westbrook.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And well, what was your confidence level on Mr. Westbrook being a drug dealer?
Being a what now?
A drug dealer.
Drug dealer?
Mhm.
Well, I mean, it raised suspicions, just, as far as the what the case, what we yielded that day, the methamphetamines. I mean, he delivered nearly a pound of methamphetamine. So
Was he using the same Chevy Silverado to deliver those methamphetamine?
no, so I testified earlier that it was a red Dodge Durango,
Red Dodge, okay,
Yes, sir,
so a
yeah.
different vehicle.
separate vehicle. Yes.
So again, what was your confidence level that Mr. Westbrook was dealing in drugs at the end of December?
Well, I established surveillance in order to follow up on my suspicions, and it yielded a kilo of cocaine.
Okay, so you didn't establish surveillance until the 10th of January?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I have other projects. At the time, we were tasked with looking for burglars. It's a holiday season, so we're tasked with other projects.
Okay,
So my project could be pushed back a little bit. So that's not uncommon.
all right. So do you
Specifically
think
during the
that
holidays.
Mr. Westbrook was dealing drugs between when he did the methamphetamine and when you picked him up on the 10th?
I'm sorry. That's your question again, sir?
Sure. So do you think that Mr. Westbrook was dealing drugs between the methamphetamine case and when you arrested him on the 10th of January?
I can't say with 100% certainty that he was or was not, but was he involved?
Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe.
Okay, maybe, all right. Well, then is it also reasonable to assume that that 1 kilo of cocaine was already in the Silverado when he met Martinez?
Objection calls for speculation. That will be overruled.
Sorry, ask your question again, sir.
Isn't it reasonable to assume that Mr. Westbrook already had 1 kilo of cocaine in his vehicle when he met Mr. Westbrook?
No, sir.
Based on what?
Based on the knowledge I had of him delivering methamphetamines at the time, he's more of the way he operated is more of a middle upper, but it's kind of a middleman where he transports, delivers, picks up. He's in that chain. I guess we call it that supply chain.
Well, why
picking up.
wasn't he in the supply chain earlier in the day?
You want me to guess or?
Well, I mean, you're guessing now though, right?
No,
You're
I'm
guessing-
no, I'm giving you an answer as to, what I see and what I observe. And based on what I see and what I observe, and I compared to previous cases, previous knowledge, how, suspects operate at his level versus street folks, users on up the chain. And he was different. So I'm just speculating on his behavior, how he moved, what he did on that he was picking up. And again, his behavior pattern was more of an interdiction stop because he fit the criteria of a person involved, and it took that type of rep to understand that maybe this is a good interdiction stop because he's with the knowledge that I have, the way he's operating, what he's doing, his behavior, manners, and what he's doing is it kind of fits in the drug trafficker category.
Okay, are you done yet?
Yes, sir, I am done.
Okay, well, you still can't state with any sort of certainty whatsoever that 1 kilo of cocaine was not in the drug prior to him going to the omnibus stop, right?
Objection outside personal knowledge of this witness.
I'm so sorry. Could you repeat your question, please?
I said that he could not state with any amount of certainty that the 1 kilo of cocaine was not already in the vehicle when he went to the omnibus station.
And your objection?
Well, our objection would also be asked and answered, but outside of the personal knowledge of this witness, he was not in that vehicle.
All right, that objection will be overruled. You can answer the question.
Without seeing it direct, I can't say that he had or had not the narcotics with him prior to.
Okay, fair enough. When you pulled up to the bus station, the omnibus station, did you go inside the omnibus station at all?
No, sir.
So you can't state with certainty that the bus that showed up at the omnibus station was in fact from Laredo. Is that not correct?
Well, there's several buses. I don't know which one's coming from Laredo, which one's coming from Del Rio.
Okay, but you made the assumption earlier that the bus that Mr. Martinez was on was from Laredo, correct?
That I'm making that statement in the fact that I found out later that that he was going to Laredo. So he was coming from Laredo, he was going back to Laredo. And through questioning Mr. Westbrook and going down that road with him, he confirmed that this guy comes from Laredo, brings said dope, and goes back to Laredo.
Okay, but that's after the fact you talked to Mr. Westbrook, right?
Yes, sir. That is it.
At the time that that bus pulled into that station, you really didn't know where it came from. Is that correct?
As far as Laredo, Del Rio, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
No, I did not know.
It could have
At
been
that
from
point in
that.
time, at that point in time, I did not know.
Okay, all right, very good. Did you see Mr. Martinez get off the bus at the omnibus station?
Did I see him get off a bus at the omnibus station?
Correct.
No, sir.
You did not.
No, he walked out of the main entry exit of the building.
Ah, okay. So you're really unsure as to whether he was ever on a bus or not. Is that correct?
Through my experience, I can
No,
can
from
say
your
that-
actual knowledge, sir.
So if you let me speak, if you quit interrupting me, I'll tell you, and then you can ask a question. From my experience,
Judge, would you instruct the witness not to be argumentative?
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. If everyone have a question, answer the question, and then another question will be asked. All right, so defense, can you re-ask your question?
Yeah, so you really have no knowledge that Mr. Martinez was ever on a bus. Is that correct?
No direct knowledge, no.
And when you say direct knowledge, you mean your own personal knowledge, correct?
I mean, I wasn't in the bus stop, observe him getting off a bus coming from Laredo.
And you've already testified that you did not go back to the omnibus station to do any sort of investigation, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, now in your encounter with Mr. Martinez at the Greyhound bus station, the ticket that Mr. Martinez purchased, where was that ticket for?
I didn't look at it personally. I didn't really take a good look at the ticket.
Okay, so you don't know if Mr. Martinez was going to Laredo or Pleasanton or Dallas. You don't know the destination on that ticket, right?
Objection, Judge. I mean, this is outside the scope of probable cause or the defendant's voluntariness of the statement. It's also, yeah, it's just outside the scope of the motion.
I believe, and if I'm incorrect, please let me know. My understanding is the defense is asking that. Just one. All right, they are asking that what's to be suppressed. They're asking that, oh, are you able to hear me? I'm sorry. According to the defense's motion, they're going to be asking that any statements their client made be suppressed and the arrest be suppressed. Is that correct?
That's part of it. Yes, Your Honor.
All right,
Absolutely.
so the, and that's what's in their motion. So the objection will be overruled.
Your Honor, if I also may say to the court that that door has already been opened by the detective's testimony, prior testimony about characterizations of mules and about that of their destination as being Laredo. We have no evidence before the court that it's Laredo.
Okay, all right, so, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, Judge, I feel that's a mischaracterization. The way Laredo came up was his client saying he was coming from and going to, but
All right, so the objection will be overruled. He can answer the question. All right, you may proceed.
Okay, so what time was the ticket for?
I'm sorry, I didn't look at the ticket specifically. I didn't look at the time. Any of the details on the ticket, I didn't look.
Did not
It's
look
what
at
it
the
said.
details. So you really can't, from the stand today, testify that it was even for that day. Is that not correct?
At that time frame, that moment in time, I couldn't say with certainty that he was going back that day. It's not until after the fact that he started telling me what he was going to do, where he was going.
Okay, well, after the fact is not.
And that's
what I'm
part of,
interested.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
But at the time, you didn't know whether that was for that day or a week later or a day later, correct?
That's correct, but that was part of the investigation as to how long he was gonna be there. He had no luggage to stay there more than a day. So it kind of, it not kind of, but it did fit him, his behavior being involved in the trafficking of narcotics.
Can you cue up that section for me?
yeah.
I'm going to show you a screen grab from what's already been admitted to the record by the prosecution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's exactly. Yeah. Is that it? Oh, actually, hold on.
No, it's 09.
Yeah. There we go.
Just run it slowly till it gets to 09.
Brother, I need it. Come on, come on, please. Brother.
Detective, you testified earlier that the gap in the door was so narrow you really couldn't see what's going on in there. Yet we're taking a look at this video now. What is it that you see on that video for a gap?
You can, I didn't say you couldn't see. I said I could see partial silhouette of a person behind the door. There's a bag that hugs, but you can see him standing over the urinal, facing towards the urinal.
Isn't it more convenient for you to say that, gosh, I can't see anything through that gap? So now I've got probable cause to enter because he's destroying drugs. He's got a firearm. Is that not correct?
Objection argumentative, Judge.
All right, that will be sustained.
Yeah, I'm done with that. Okay, on your police report, you indicate on page 2 of your report, Juan was arrested and handcuffed for resisting detention. So he was under custodial arrest, correct?
At the time, he was resisting, and we considered that, yeah, but it was, to me, he was detained for the investigation into the narcotics trafficking case.
But your report, after 21 years of experience, you wrote in your report, arrested, correct?
Well, yeah, he can be arrested, he can be detained.
And then you further go on to say, during a search incident to arrest.
Yes, sir, I wrote that report later.
And are you telling this court that's not a custodial arrest?
All right, so we're gonna go off the record for a moment. And so what we'll do is, defense, if you'll re-ask your last question, and then you'll have a chance to answer it.
Yes, sir.
Judge, real
Yes,
quick, if I'm the one interrupting, maybe it'd be better if I put my microphone down since Lauren's taking charge here.
oh, no one's interrupting, what do you mean?
Oh, like if I was just talking too loudly and Cindy's picking
No,
it up.
this is question and
Everybody.
answer. This is what I can tell everybody. What Cindy is taking down is what she's able to hear from you guys through the mic. And it's specifically for her to be able to hear you because she has the headphones on.
Okay.
All right, okay. All right, so defense, if you could ask your last question, please.
Judge, if the court will allow me, I'll back up just a little bit and we'll see if we can't approach it from a little bit different direction.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you, Your Honor. Detective, were you aware of the time frame in which Mr. Westbrook was stopped?
The exact time frame, no.
Más o menos.
The exact time frame, no. I can only guess that these two investigations were happening simultaneously.
Okay.
So in the time frame that we're contacting Mr. Martinez, there's being contact made with Mr. Westbrook. But it's just, if you're asking for exact time frame, I can't tell you that. I wasn't at their crime scene.
So what was the time of the incident in the bathroom involving Mr. Martinez? you know?
Can I look at the body cam?
Absolutely. Can you show it to me? Can you show it to me?
All right, you all may continue.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Okay, so we've seen from an already admitted piece of evidence that what's the timestamp on that video, if you would, sir?
It was 16:55 hours,
On what day?
1:10:24.
Okay, do you agree with that?
That's what it reflects, sir.
Okay, good. Now, that's you in the background, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're on your phone?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember who you were talking to?
It was a number of people. I don't know. I couldn't tell you
Did
definitively
they
who it
report
was.
Status update on Westbrook's arrest?
Yes, wait, if I was talking to the DI supervisor, somebody, yeah, I would have been getting status updates.
Okay, I mean, without getting into the actual, who said what was the impression that you got at that time about what Westbrook was up to?
The impression that I got from the other
Yeah, from
group,
the folks you were talking to, what impression did you get as to status of Westbrook?
it ranged from they're following, they're stopping, they got them stopped, they found drugs. I couldn't tell you where in this video, what happened in what order.
Okay, so safe to say you don't know about Westbrook's status at that timestamp.
I was trying to get updates during this course, the interaction here.
Okay, all right. I want you to take another look at M3. And is M3 your report?
Yes,
Okay, and the event start date and time, what's that? Upper right corner.
January 10th, 2024, 21:30 to 22:30.
Okay. And over on the left-hand side, what is the report date and time?
January 18th, 2024, just after midnight, 4 minutes after.
Okay, so at least 7 days from the date of the event to the date you wrote the report, correct?
Yes, sir, that's what it reflects.
Okay, so don't you think within 7 days you could get the language within your report like you want it to?
Direction argumentative.
That'll be sustained.
So again, in your report, you have written, Juan was arrested and handcuffed for resisting detention and placed in a marked patrol unit. Then during a search incident to arrest, more than $4,000 was found in his front left pants pocket. Is that what you wrote?
Yes, sir.
And you say in your report that you discovered that incident to his arrest. And you appear to indicate, well, first of all, is that true?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And it seems to intimate that you discovered the $4,000 search incident to arrest. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Let's play the video back from when he comes out of the stall.
What am I doing? Oh, I can't do that. She makes sure I'm fucking dead. Shit. Shit. Why aren't you opening it? I was saying shit about that. Huh? I said about that. Okay, well, we got a call first.
Stop. Okay, now that's Lesh's hands that we see in the foreground, correct?
Yes,
And he's got a wallet in his hand, correct?
yes,
Okay, and that's Mr. Martinez's wallet, right?
I'm assuming so, yes.
Okay, continue.
You know, what is in your bag? Oh, gosh, that.
And that's Mr. Martinez's butt that was sticking out there, wasn't it?
I'm sorry?
I mean, Mr. Martinez's naked butt is sticking out in that video, right?
Can you rewind that?
Yeah, rewind it just a.
Okay, well, we got a call for a bag. You know, what is in your bag?
It looks like it's his lower back.
Okay, so is his rear end is not sticking out in that?
It appears that his sweater came up. That's his lower back.
Okay, all right, let's continue on, please. Let's stop for a second. So you can't deny that Les is already looking around in his bag, right?
No, he's looking at his bag there.
Okay, and he's got his wallet in his left hand, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's continue.
Shit, man. And shit on a box of corn. Shit, man, it's a Steve. Hey, when did you get here? About 20 minutes ago. 20 minutes ago? Yeah, that's how you guys want to take. That's how I take it. Somebody help me. Where are you coming from now? I'm my brother. I'm going to read on somebody. Yeah. No, I think you're reading, but it is on most of it. And you drop down this number. Yeah, shit on my pants, man. We were dropping you off. I told her, oh, the person has man, shit on my pants. Yeah, you know, sir. Okay, Gary, how long have you been in San Antonio? Awesome. It's 4 years. My seventh, so brother. Yeah, I only know brother. Okay, all right. Is this your program? Yes, sir. You're brave. You're brave. No. Hey, I'm gonna let you come up. And I'm gonna so far this piece of it. But we didn't crack up. I'm not out, sir. I'll get before you go, man. I'm gonna let you. Yeah. I'm gonna do that. All right. You all friendly. All right. But where am I being wrong? What am I doing wrong? Paying all that data. I'm gonna be still. Oh. Everything else you want, so what's this? What's this?
Would you stop the video, please? Okay, and that was you reaching into his pockets and finding the cash, correct?
I believe so, sir.
All right. So I guess that's a pretty extensive Terry frisk, huh?
Objection argumentative calls for a legal conclusion.
All right, that'll be overruled. You can answer the question.
He had a bulge in the pocket and it yielded the large wad of cash.
Just can I confer with the state for a moment?
Yes.
Can we call it out of order?
Yeah, I was planning on calling the national consumer justice 220.
Yeah, okay.
Not me all the time. Are you don't know.
Okay, Your Honor, pass the witness.
State,
No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
All right, is this witness excused or subject for recall?
Excused by the state.
If it please the court, is excused.
All right, the rule has been invoked. You're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone until the conclusion of this hearing.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. If you'll leave, if there's any exhibits, whether they were entered or not, if you'll leave those with the court reporter, please. Thank you.
No, we're gonna pull other evidence.
Okay, well, make it quick.
Mhm.
A photo?
Oh, sorry about that.
Thank you. Based on your training and experience, what did the contents appear to be?
It had a white, more solid, but also powdery at the same time substance.
Was the contents, or I guess were the contents of it compressed?
Yes.
What did you do next?
Usually when whoever's in charge of either collecting and photographing and testing the evidence, which is mostly the detective assigned, to collect the evidence, either field test it.
I pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, defense.
Briefly, Your Honor. Detective Waters, you testified that when you showed up to the Shell gas station on January 10th, that Ryan Westbrook and his daughters and his wife were already pulled over, is that correct?
Yes, they already have been pulled over at that time.
And they were already out of the vehicle?
I believe they already have been out of the vehicle, yes.
Okay, do you recall if officers at the time were searching the vehicle already?
I believe so, yes, sir.
Okay, and Mr. Martinez was not at that scene, correct?
No, he was not present that I can recall.
And prior to you arriving at the Shell gas station, you didn't observe Mr. Martinez interact with Mr. Westbrook at all?
I was not present at that. We had heard information, but I hadn't
But you
physically
didn't?
seen, no, sir.
Okay, and so were you the one who initially opened that backpack that you just testified?
I think yes, because it was already closed when I came to it.
Okay, and within that backpack, Lauren, would you call it, I think it's M6? Yes, please.
Whoa, hello. Wow, I think it's.
No, it's gone.
Okay. Just pitch it back this way.
Oh, it's loading.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And so, Detective, the state pointed out to you that little Mega Blocks, I guess, pad folio thing in there, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You testified that's where you found the alleged narcotics?
Yes, to my knowledge, I believe that it was concealed in there.
Okay, and those other documents in there, that's homework,
Yes, homework, yes, sir.
schoolwork, right?
Yes.
Something along those lines? You didn't find any identifying items of Mr. Martinez's within that backpack, did you?
No, sir, nothing that I would, if you're trying to say like anything that could link him to it, no.
Okay, and also, when you opened that backpack, you weren't wearing gloves, right?
Most of the time we are wearing gloves, but I can't recall like if I was at that moment.
Okay, and also, when you found the alleged narcotics, I'll represent to you that you weren't wearing any gloves at the time.
Okay, I mean, yes, if that's what is there, then yeah, I wasn't wearing any.
Okay, also, you didn't dust it for any fingerprints,
No, and myself, no, particularly no.
and then you didn't swab it for any sort of DNA of Mr. Martinez's?
If the person that collects the evidence could have swabbed it, I'm not sure, because I wasn't the one that collected the evidence and processed it.
Okay, you testified that you were a plainclothes officer back on January 10th?
Yes, that's most of us in our group are plainclothes.
Yes, sir. And so on that day, you weren't wearing a body worn camera?
We are traditionally wear body worn camera attached to our outer vest.
So do you recall if you were on that date?
Most of the time, but I haven't time to review whether or not there was a body cam linked to that case particularly.
Okay.
Yeah, you do. You got it. So it's D5.
Okay. Judge, if you can give me just a moment.
Sure.
That's it. And then it's right at 17 and 45 seconds. We'll get to about 17:30. $17:45. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the very end of it. It's back, just scroll it back. You give it to me.
And so, detective, if you weren't wearing gloves that day, which again, I'll represent to you that you weren't, and you handled that, the alleged narcotics without the gloves, you wouldn't be able to swab it anymore for Mr. Martinez's fingerprints, correct?
No, that is incorrect because it just, I mean, they would still swab it or even, do some latent prints to, if that's what they, if that's what the case agent, Detective Sagala would request, but I mean, doesn't affect or, or tamper anything if that's what you mean.
Okay, so your fingerprints being on that package wouldn't affect it at all? Or
No, because that was my first initial dealings with it.
And detective, you'd agree with me that the SAPD standard operating procedure is to wear gloves when handling evidence, correct?
I've read the general manual for processing evidence and I'm not sure if there's a standard procedure for wearing gloves when, that's usually for crime scene investigators or CSIs.
But you would agree with me it's the best practice to wear gloves in order not to contaminate or I would.
Yeah, that is a common practice, yes, to not to alter or I guess, tamper with any type of crime scene.
Okay.
All right, we'll leave it.
Judge, I'll pass the witness.
All right, state.
Officer Juarez, defense counsel on cross discussed the wearing of gloves with you, and you had previously testified that that would be the job for CSI. Who is the CSI person in this case?
I couldn't recall who actually collected or like the photographs of the exhibits. I'm not sure who actually took or collected the property at that time. But most of the time, whoever is tasked with that duty would most of the time either wear gloves or process the evidence at that time. I believe if I can recall, I know there was the detective Justin Ramirez, I know was out there, and I believe he might have collected the evidence if I can recall.
Do you know Justin Ramirez to be a CSI?
No, he's a plainclothes detective, but he is also experienced with collecting and processing evidence, as he has had training with the crime scene duties.
Okay, no further questions, Judge.
Judge, may I approach?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Detective, I'm going to hand you what's been previously marked as defense M6 and M7. If you could take a look at those.
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize defendants M6 and M7?
The backpack itself specifically?
Well,
Yes.
just do you recognize what the images are?
Yes, I think that's my hand.
Okay, so this is still shots of your body worn camera. You'd agree with me?
Yes, sir, that is a still shot because it's directly in front of my chest.
Okay, and you'd agree with me that that's a fair and accurate depiction of the events on January 10th of 2024?
Yes, sir, it's accurate.
Okay, Judge, I'd move to admit at this point defense M6 and M7.
Any
No
objection?
objection, Your Honor.
All right, defense M6 and 7 is admitted without objection.
Your Honor. And so Detective, I'm going to leave those with you for just a second. So now that you can see a screenshot of your body worn camera that day, you would agree with me that you're handling the alleged narcotics and that you're not wearing gloves, correct?
Yes.
Okay, Judge will pass the witness.
Any further questions?
Nothing further from the state, Judge.
All right, is this witness excused or subject for recall?
We're excused by the state.
Excused by defense, Your Honor.
All right, the rule has been invoked. You're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone until this hearing has concluded.
Yes, ma'am, of course.
All right, thank you. If you'll leave the
Thank you.
exhibits with the court
Yes,
reporter.
ma'am, of course.
Thank you. Have a great day. All right, state, call your next witness.
State calls Matthew Raster.
Yeah,
Judge, I've got old man syndrome. I'll be right back.
Okay, all right, so then what we'll do is we'll take let's just take a 10-minute break.
If the court would like, otherwise, Mr. Paul's been.
I'm comfortable proceeding at the court.
Sure. Hello. All right, if you'll put the square microphone on, it's for the court reporter to hear. Yes, just anywhere on your lapel or somewhere.
yes,
It's
ma'am.
for her to hear through her headphones. All right, could you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I swear.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Matthew Raster.
All right, state you may proceed.
Thank you, Judge. How are you presently employed?
I'm employed as a detective with the San Antonio Police Department.
How long have you been with the San Antonio Police Department?
Almost 13 years.
What have been your assignments over the past 13 years?
I worked crew dog watch, crew T shift as a patrol officer, central T shift as a patrol officer. I worked at rope as a patrol officer, covert as a patrol officer, and covert as a detective.
Okay. What was your assignment on January 10th, 2024?
I was a patrol officer at covert.
What are your duties as covert patrol officer?
As a patrol officer working for covert, you assist detectives with their investigations. That could mean making a traffic stop for them, an investigative traffic stop, assisting as uniform presence on search warrants, assisting with apprehending individuals wanted on misdemeanor and felony charges.
Were you on duty on January 10th, 2024?
Yes, I was.
What were the hours of your shift on that day?
The hours of, I believe we flexed that day, so I believe we came in at 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And it's a 10-hour shift, so we're probably done by 11 or midnight.
Were you in uniform on January 10th, 2024?
I was.
Were you in a marked patrol unit?
I was.
Are you familiar with the case under SAPD 24007209?
I am.
What case is that?
I believe it was a possession of a PG1 over 400 grams.
How did you become involved in that case?
I became involved in that case by assisting a detective with a traffic stop.
What was the name of the detective you were assisting?
Detective Ben Segala.
At about 4:50 p.m., did you observe a white Chevy Silverado?
I did.
What drew your attention to that vehicle?
The vehicle was following another vehicle too closely on the highway, and also it was driving above the posted speed limit.
When you first observed that vehicle, what highway or street was it traveling on?
Interstate 10.
Where was your car in relation to that Silverado when you first observed it?
I was behind that vehicle.
Approximately how far?
An educated guess, I would say around half to 3/4 of a mile.
Okay, what is the posted speed limit for IH-10?
65 miles per hour.
Approximately what speed was the Silverado traveling?
I believe that Silverado was in excess of the 65 mile per hour speed limit. I don't know which detective was around that vehicle, but they had told me over the radio that they believed the vehicle to be doing traveling at approximately 85 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone.
Did you have to accelerate your vehicle to catch up with it?
I did.
Did you have to exceed the posted 65 speed limit?
I did.
Was the Silverado's speed constant?
It was.
Was there other traffic present on the highway?
There was.
Over what distance or period of time did you follow the Silverado before you decided to stop it?
I had to estimate how long it was, well, around a mile, maybe a mile and a half.
Okay, what did you do to indicate to the vehicle that it should pull over?
I activated my overhead emergency red and blue lights.
Did the vehicle stop in a safe manner in place?
It did.
Where did the vehicle stop?
It was a gas station at Crossroads in Interstate 10.
Do you know approximately how far that Shell station is from the Greyhound bus station?
I think around 7 miles.
Were you equipped, or you testified previously you were equipped with a marked patrol unit, correct?
Correct.
Is that patrol unit equipped with, I guess, Axon or video on board?
Correct. Coban.
Coban, excuse me.
Yes.
To your knowledge, was it operating properly on January 10th, 2024?
Yes, it was.
May I approach?
Yes.
This is M4, and then this is M9, 10, and 11.
Judge, for the purposes of this hearing, defense is not going to have any objection to the admittance of states M4, M9, M10, and M11.
All right, and state you're offering those?
Yes, Judge.
All right, states exhibits and 4, 9, 10, and 11 are admitted without objection.
Thank you. Permission to publish?
Granted.
Officer Raster, I want you to stop me when you see the Chevy Silverado in the frame.
I apologize. The video is a little grainy.
You can see on this one.
It should be that one directly in front of me.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. If there's no objection, because I don't know what he's pointing at,
Yes,
do
Your
you all object to him standing so I can see which one?
I've got no objection, Your Honor.
All right, if you could show me which vehicle you're attending to, please. All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
You need these exhibit at 28 seconds. Causing states exhibit, I know it's grainy, but when I resume it, can you tell us what is reflecting in the tailgate of the vehicle?
So what's reflecting is the overhead emergency lights, the red and blue emergency lights on my vehicle, on my patrol vehicle.
Do you recall the names of the streets that the vehicle is passing on the right?
Don't recall the name of the streets. I believe the one coming up here should be Delview. I believe it's Delview. And that would be the one that was just passed.
So I'm gonna pause state's exhibit at about 2 minutes and 37 seconds and publish to you. State's exhibit. Number 9, M9, excuse me. Let me push that document.
Of course.
Okay, so this is a still from your Cobian video, correct?
Correct.
What is the date and timestamp that we see in the bottom right-hand corner?
January 10th, 2022, 2024 at 4:52 PM.
What does that time translate to in military time?
That would be 16:52.
Okay. Now, state's exhibit M10, what is the make and model of this vehicle that we see on the left of the tailgate?
So Chevy Silverado.
Okay, and what is the license plate, if you can see? I know there's a glare.
RNP 6854.
Did you make contact with the driver of the vehicle?
I did.
How did you make contact?
I exited my patrol car, walked up to the driver's side of the vehicle, introduced myself, and provided the reason for the traffic stop.
What reason did you provide?
Driving over the posted speed limit. And I don't know if I told the driver he was following too closely to the vehicle, a vehicle in front of him.
Okay, do you recall how many occupants were inside of that vehicle?
There were 4.
Where were these individuals and can you describe them?
There was an adult female in the front passenger seat, an adult male driver. There was a juvenile female in the back seat behind the driver and another juvenile female behind the passenger in the back seat.
When you made contact with the driver, did he have his window down?
He did.
Okay, did you smell anything?
Yes, as I was talking to the driver, I could smell an odor of burned marijuana.
Was it strong, light? How would you describe the strength of this?
It was strong.
Did you ask the driver for his license?
No, he handed me his license as I walked up.
Did you ask the driver out of the vehicle at any time?
I did.
Why?
I smelled the odor of burned marijuana.
Did you conduct a probable cause search of the vehicle?
I did.
What did you base your probable cause on?
The odor of burned marijuana.
Did you conduct a full search of the vehicle by yourself?
I began conducting a search and several covert detectives had arrived on scene and began searching the vehicle. I don't believe I searched the entire vehicle myself.
Did you search any backpacks?
Don't recall.
Do you recall who else assisted with the search?
I know Detective Juarez and I believe Detective Ramirez.
Okay. Now I'm gonna show you states M11. This is also a screen grab from your Cobian video. Is this the driver of the vehicle?
This is the driver of the vehicle.
Can you tell me the timestamp at the bottom of the screen?
4:57 PM.
Okay, and that would translate to 16:57:48.
Correct.
And on the hood of the car, what do we see?
Black and white backpack with sunflowers on it.
And was that placed there after it was removed from the vehicle?
Yes.
Okay, what happened next?
I believe either Detective Juarez or Detective Ramirez searched the backpack and found narcotics.
Did you observe the narcotics?
I did.
found? What did it look like?
It was a brick. It looked about the size of a kilo, and it was I believe wrapped in black plastic or tape.
No further questions. I pass the witness, Judge.
Brief, Your Honor.
You may proceed.
Thank you. Detective Raster, on January 10th of 2024, the first time you ever came into contact with these folks was when you initiated the traffic stop, correct?
Correct.
You were not at a Greyhound bus station, conducting surveillance,
No.
and you weren't at the Omni bus station conducting surveillance,
No,
correct?
sir.
And when you pulled the vehicle over, you testified that there were 4 occupants. There was a male and 3 females, correct? My client was not among those occupants, correct?
No, sir.
And you also testified that you found, I guess, that backpack that the state showed you, correct?
I did not find that backpack. I believe Detective or one of the juvenile females had it on her as she got out of the vehicle. And I told her to put it up on top of the car.
Okay, and I kind of want to backtrack here. Lauren, could you cue up that first, I think it states M9, it's the very first one that was in the gas station. Yes, that one. Detective, I'm showing you what's been previously introduced as states M9. That's the truck you pulled over, correct?
Correct.
You'd agree with me that there's some pretty heavy tint on the back window there, correct?
Correct.
And it would be tough to see inside that vehicle.
Correct.
And so as you're searching the vehicle, you didn't find any identifying items of Juan Martinez within that vehicle, correct?
Not that I recall, sir.
And do you recall there was tint on the side windows too? Is that correct?
I believe there was, sir.
Okay. About the same coloration, pretty dark.
I believe so, sir.
Judge, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Thank you, Your Honor. Judge, at this time, defense would move to introduce, for the purposes of this hearing, defense exhibit M2 and M3.
No objection from the state, Your Honor.
All right, defense exhibits M2 and M3 are admitted without objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. And so, Detective, I'm gonna hand you what's been admitted as defense M2. That's a still shot of your body worn camera, is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
And you'd agree with me that it's a juvenile female holding that backpack?
Yes, sir.
And that's the backpack where the alleged narcotics were found?
Yes, sir.
And now I'm gonna hand you defense M3. And those are the 2 juvenile females that were in the vehicle?
Correct.
And the one in the, let's call it a cream sweater, she was the one holding that backpack, correct?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Your Honor, I'll pass the witness.
State,
No further questions for this witness, Judge. He may be excused.
excuse defense.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the rule has been invoked. You're not allowed to discuss your testimony with anyone during the pendency of this hearing. And if you'll just leave the square with the, on the bench, and then whatever exhibits are up there, if you hand those to the court reporter.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
The spelling of your last name.
Raster.
All right, state, call your next witness.
State has no further witnesses, Your Honor.
Defense, any witnesses?
Your Honor, if you give me just a moment, please.
Yes.
Your Honor, if you please, the court will rest and close.
All right. And state, do you close?
Yes, Judge.
All right, are both parties prepared to proceed with argument, or do you need a little of a short break before you proceed with your argument?
Can I have a short break?
Yes, all right,
And- Is Officer Les released?
Yes.
Still out there.
yes,
Okay.
yes, they rest in close. So what I'll do is we will come back at 3:20, and so you all can discuss Defense counsel, you can discuss among yourselves, your argument in state. You can do the same. If you need more time than that, just let the court know.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I have.
Okay, so
people
what
in the waiting.
Where did they come?
We're talking about the case law.
Okay,
Yeah.
Does anyone know who are the people in the waiting room? Was that somebody who related to this case? Okay. Are the parties ready to proceed?
Judge, because the state has the burden, we'd ask to reserve for rebuttal.
Defense, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Would you like me to stand or sit for this?
You can sit.
Thank you, Your Honor. Judge, there's no warrant on this case. There's no specific articulable facts for an arrest in this case. I know the court has to look at the totality of the circumstances surrounding the incident, but that's Mr. Martinez's specific articulable facts. And really, the business with Westbrook was provided to the court to give some idea as to where the state was coming from, because Westbrook is the guy with the drugs. But for Mr. Martinez, the state can't even tell you if he was ever on a bus. The state can't tell you, the detective can't tell you specific articulable facts about the bag that Mr. Martinez had. The state follows him to another bus station. The state can't tell you the destination for the ticket that he purchased. They can't tell you the date the ticket was for. They can certainly tell you he went to the restroom to go to the bathroom. They can certainly tell you that. And we can see that on video. However, they went ahead and then the lead detective in the case tried to play himself off as a Greyhound employee to determine the identity of Mr. Martinez. And that failed. That was on video. He was peeking through the gap. I think that's an invasion of his privacy. I mean, a restroom stall, what could be more, what would the general public and the law recognize as being a right to privacy more than your own home? It's got to be a restroom stall. Not a urinal, but the actual stall itself with the door that closes and a door that locks. But law enforcement, the detective in this case, he chose to go ahead and peek through the gap, and the court can see the video and see what the gap is. And then he directs the law enforcement officer that's in uniform with him to break the door down. Why? Why did he do that to break the door down? What specific articulable facts did he tell you in order to be able to do that? Well, there weren't any. After the fact, it's, oh, we were afraid he's going to destroy evidence, or we thought he had a weapon. And of course, neither of those developed. But the actual facts that should have been articulated to the court for them to be able to legally do that, it's evaporative. It's not here. The privacy interest that he had in the stall should outweigh anything that they did. Where was the consensual encounter in this case? The detective surveilled him into where he bought the ticket. Objectively speaking, why did the detective not encounter him then consensually that did not require a warrant? May I continue, Your Honor?
Oh, yes, I'm still
Okay.
listening.
So he has the opportunity in the main area of the bus station to do a consensual encounter and attempt to determine identity at that time, but he does not do that. Instead, he waits, and Mr. Martinez, he goes to the restroom. He has to go. He's in the restroom, his pants are partially down, and now somebody is knocking on the door and asking for his ticket. In the Greyhound bus station in downtown San Antonio, Texas. Would that make you fearful? It would me. It would make me fearful. Mr. Martinez asked for identification. No one said, SAPD, police, please open up or open up. Instead, it was, oh, we're with Greyhound. And then Policica. And then they kick the door in. What are you to believe if you're sitting there in that stall with your pants down? What are you to believe? Well, they broke the door open. They dragged him out to the floor, his pants still down, handcuffed him. Oh, do you mind if we look in your bag? Well, that's not a consensual request. That's a coercive request for that set of circumstances. No one in their reasonable mind would say that that was a consent search. The Terry frisk. There was no Terry frisk. There was a flat out search of his pockets for whatever they wanted to search for. The discovery of a lump in the sweatsuit of his pants. No one testified that that was a weapon or contraband, but he just reached in and pulled out that money. Again, an illegal search. But more egregious than that, Judge, is that really this entire evolution was meant to determine his identity. It was a search, an illegal search to determine his identity because the detective didn't know who he was. And so you have his identity being illegally discovered. You have the search of the backpack that's an illegal search. And you have the search of his person that's an illegal search. And what did it turn up? It turned up identity. It turned up his funds. And both of those should be suppressed, Judge. What happened with Westbrook at the Shell station has nothing to do with Mr. Martinez. What happened in that bathroom stall has everything to do with Mr. Martinez, because that detective did not have any legal reason to do what he did in the Greyhound bus station. There were no specific articulable facts that would ever support what that man did. That being said, he could have done a consensual request, and then we wouldn't be here. Not on a motion to suppress. As respectfully requesting that the court suppress the determination of his identity and also suppress the money that was found on his person and the arrest in general. And I thank the court.
All right, State.
Thank you, Judge. So, Judge, in response to the defendant's arguments, first of all, whether or not there was a consensual encounter, an arrest, a warrant, anything like that is irrelevant to this. What we are talking about is whether the officers acted legally or illegally under 38.23. And specifically, looking at the defendant's motion as well as the argument, it breaks down into three factors: whether there was an arrest or detention, whether this was a custodial interrogation, and the voluntariness of that interrogation. And I would first like to make the court aware of Castro v. Texas, case citation 373 Southwest 3rd 159, if I may approach the court.
Which one?
Castro. So, Judge, this first case gives us a quick overview of Terry and his progeny, as well as investigatory stops. And basically, just like in Terry, where a person was seen looking through a window, not once, not twice, but 3 times, all of those instances taken separately can be considered innocent behavior. When taken together, though, they cause real suspicion that criminal activity is afoot, just as what happened here. But more than that, the state needs to show a reasonable articulable suspicion that criminal activity is afoot because of specific articulable facts. And here, the facts that led to the suspicion of Mr. Martinez being involved in narcotics trafficking are legion. First, he was seen getting into a vehicle with a known narcotics trafficker. He was also seen driving with that person. He had no luggage with him. He was only here for a short time. He had a round trip. All of those are conducive with a courier that is bringing narcotics from one destination to another. And because of that, the detectives and the police could reasonably suspect that Mr. Martinez was somehow involved. Now, real suspicion doesn't need a high burden. It only needs specific articulable facts, and those are here. Specifically, it also goes into whether a detention is reasonable. The court says that there are a number of factors to consider, including the amount of force displayed, the duration of the detention, the original location, as well as the officer's expressed intent. Here, the amount of force displayed was he was handcuffed. He was handcuffed because he was in a concealed location. He was not responding to commands. He had gone silent. And any law enforcement officer will tell you that there is nothing scarier than a locked door. So because they feared that there was a weapon that could be being readied or involved, as well as the possible destruction of evidence, it allows, through exigent circumstances, for them to then enter that bathroom stall. Further, before they kicked in the door, they did announce, "Policía, policía," which in Spanish translates to police. The duration of detention, it lasted, I believe, no more than an hour or two. The original location, during the whole detention, Mr. Martinez was initially kept at that location until he was moved to another area. Now, when he's moved, we will concede that that is conducive to an arrest. But while he's there at the bus stop, while he's there in the bathroom, he is only 3 feet away from the place where he was detained. So we would argue that he was kept at the original location that he was detained at. And then the officer's express intent. Detective Segala says on the video multiple times, "You are being detained, you are being detained, you are being detained." And the defendant even acknowledges that. He asked the officer, "Why am I being detained?" Not "Why am I being arrested?" "Why am I being detained?" So it's not only the officer's expressed intent, it also communicates to the fact that the defendant knew that he was not under arrest, that he was being detained.
But isn't it based upon a reasonable person? It is not necessarily whether or not the accused believe they're being detained or not?
So the detention is based on objective standard, but the subjective knowledge of the defendant does go towards other things I'm going to get to, as like the custodial interrogation and the voluntariness of that interrogation,
Okay. so
which
let me-
I'll get to in a moment.
All right, so let me just ask this quick question.
Of course, Judge.
Because I'm just trying to understand everybody's arguments. So are you saying if somebody is handcuffed, and let's just say hypothetically, they're held in an interrogation room, and because an officer says you're being detained and the person is like, "Oh, why am I being detained?" then that means it's a detention and not an arrest?
In certain aspects, Judge. And if
Okay.
you'll turn in Castro on the second tab, the court even states an individual may be placed in handcuffs, especially for safety purposes, for the purpose of investigatory stop. So just because someone is in handcuffs does not translate a detention into an arrest.
Okay.
A person can be detained and handcuffed at the same time for safety purposes. And in this case, the officer said that there were safety concerns because they were concerned he was in a locked stall. They were unable to see what he was doing, and he may or may not have had a weapon. And they even communicated this, they testified to this when they did the Terry frisk, which brings me to my second point, the custodial interrogation. Now, 38.22 of the Code of Criminal Procedure states that no statements that were made under custodial interrogation can be allowed into evidence unless there are certain prerequisites set. However, looking at the case law, there is no custodial interrogation involved here. If I may approach the court
Yes.
with Herrera v. State, case citation 241 Southwest 3rd 520. And Judge, I would point your attention to the tabbed and highlighted section of that case.
And I'm sorry, you may have mentioned this, but what reasonable articulable facts are you relying on to say that there was suspicion that a crime had been committed or that the accused would soon engage in criminal activity?
Of course, Judge. It was the fact that this investigation began with Ryan Westbrook. He was seen driving to the omnibus station. He then picked up the defendant who had no luggage, who had no overnight, anything like that, got into his vehicle, goes from the omnibus station over to the Greyhound station. As it's a short distance, and then gets out again with no luggage, anything like that, ready to go on to his next destination. And the person that he was traveling with was a known drug trafficker and already had an active investigation with SAPD involving narcotics trafficking. So using his training experience, the detective reasonably concluded and suspected that criminal activity may be afoot because of omnibus station being a possible avenue of smuggling routes, of the short duration of the trip, of the fact that the defendant had no luggage or anything overnight that would be conducive to a long trip. It was basically, it all translated to the fact that the defendant was coming and going within a very short period of time. If I may continue. Okay, so in Herrera v. State, the Court of Criminal Appeals lays out that custody only applies if, under the circumstances, a reasonable person would believe that his freedom of movement was restrained to the degree associated with a formal arrest. The key part of that being a formal arrest. Here, the defendant's own words say, why am I being detained? Why am I being detained? Not under arrest. And further, he was not under arrest because he was not taken off site until much later. He was questioned in the bathroom, which was again close to the original location of the detention. So, Judge, we would argue that there were no reasonable circumstances that the defendant could believe that he was under formal arrest. And in fact, his own words communicate that he was not under the impression that he was under arrest. So because of that, we would argue that 3822 does not apply because it only applies to statements obtained during a custodial interrogation, to which there was not here. And lastly, Judge, we go to the voluntariness of any kind of confession, which will be State v. Terrazas, case site 4, Southwest 3rd, 720, if I may approach the court.
Yes.
So,
Of course. It's going to be Terrazas, Terrazas. And here, Judge, I would again point you to the highlighted and tabbed portions. So regarding voluntariness of a confession or any statements, the defendant initially has the burden to bring up the question of voluntariness. But once we get there, the state need only rebut it by a preponderance of the evidence. And Judge, whether something is voluntarily or freely given comes down to whether coercive tactics were used. And the case law defines coercive tactics as anything that is enough to overwhelm or overcome the normal mental faculties of a reasonable person. And here, there were no coercive tactics that were done. There was no testimony that weapons were drawn. There was no testimony to physical blows. I think the only reason they raised their voices was because they were trying to talk to the defendant, who was also raising his voice. Now, is he handcuffed during that? Yes, he is, of course. But there is case law that states that if he's handcuffed, even during a detention, that is not enough by itself to be considered so coercive as to overcome someone's mental faculties. And finally, Judge, all of this comes around to the probable cause of the arrest. So while the defendant was detained in the bathroom, we can see on the video that Detective Segala was on the phone. He received information that the person that the defendant was riding with had been found in possession of a large amount of narcotics. And that would give him enough probable cause to show that a crime is, or will be committed.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. So because of that, Judge, we have shown you that 38.22 does not apply because this was not a custodial interrogation under the case law. Further, 38.23 is not triggered. All of the actions of law enforcement were done within the confines of the Constitution and in case law. There was no legal action on behalf of state actors. So because there's no legal action, 38.23 is not triggered. The exclusion rule does not apply. And Judge, we respectfully request that you deny the defendant's motion to suppress.
Thank you, State.
Thank you, Judge.
Defense, it's your motion, so you have final argument if there's anything you wish to add.
Judge, if you're going to entertain the cases that the state has put before it, I'd recommend that the court look carefully at the entire reading of it. I believe the citing that the state is using on those particular cases that it's not on point. There are quotations within these that are on point concerning specific articulable facts concerning whether the defendant believes that he's in custody or not. The distinction between a detention and a custodial arrest are lost upon the general public. That's for us to decide that have law degrees. But was he free to go? No, he's not free to go. And as far as he's concerned, detention, custodial arrest, it's the same thing. And I think in this particular set of circumstances, that though we know what detention means, that this rises above detention and rises to the level of custodial interrogation. Additionally, you know, the detective had over 7 days to write his report. He testified that the incident took place on the 10th of January, and his report is not written until the 18th of January. That's part of the record. How can he not, with 21 years of service, over a period of 8 days, not get his language right in his own report? But his report indicates that he was under arrest and that it was a search incident to arrest. So, you know, Judge, I just don't think there are specific articulable facts that would support unwarranted approach and arrest of Mr. Martinez. Certainly, there could have been a consensual encounter, but there's no facts here for a consensual encounter. It was just a flat out, I'm going to try to pass myself off as a Greyhound bus employee to determine his identity. And when that failed, they used force. And it was an illegal use of force. And everything that boiled out of that should be suppressed. Identity, the fact that he was carrying money, it should all be suppressed. I thank the court.
All right, thank you. So this is what the court is going to do. Of course, I'm aware of the law, but anytime someone gives case law to me, I always like to read it. The state provided case law defense. If there's some case law you want to provide to the court, I'll give you leave to do that. And I will make my ruling on Monday. That way, defense, if you want to add some case law to the record, you're more than welcome to do so. And if you do, that'll give state an opportunity to see what case law you're providing. And if they want to answer that, they can. And so because I'm going to be making my ruling on Monday, as I previously said, I'm assuming, defense, if I don't rule in your favor, you're going to want the transcript?
Yes, Your Honor, we would like the transcript prior to trial. And Judge, I think that the three cases that are before the court, I think that a thorough reading of these cases are going to support our position.
Okay.
And so I see no need to burden the court with further cases.
Oh, it's never a burden. I love reading. Takes me back to my school days. But okay, so what I'll do is I will have a ruling for you all on Monday. And sir, they'll have you brought on over on Monday. Okay. All right. Is there anything else?
Nothing to state, Judge.
Not for the defense, Your Honor.
All right. So the record will be closed, but if you all can confer with the court reporter to make sure that she has all of the exhibits that you offered into evidence.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.